You open the two vast doors in front of you. You just killed the spear of the church, and now you must see your lady Philinor. She rests gently atop an egg that calls you to touch it. You do. Extending your hand forward, you hear the egg. And then silence. The egg crumbles in upon itself and turns to nothing. You have awoken the Lady Philinor. She looks down to see what you have done, and then you meet eyes, both understanding what has happened and what is to come, as light emanates from the sacred holy egg and envelops the room. You find yourself now in a much different location. The room the same, but it hath met decay. The only remains of Lady Philinor is a shriveled corpse. The only remains of the room is a disheveled mess. You look up to see the sky, and everything around you has been replaced by an endless field of deserted ash. In the center of this arena lies Gale, who is a very difficult boss normally. The lore for this guy is actually really intricate and fun, in the sense that he has been hunting to the end of time to find the Dark Soul, which happens to be in you, but he's been killing and eating other people to do so. Kinda gruesome and brutal, but now he's gonna kill and eat you. What fun. What joyous, joyous fun. We're gonna cover how to kill him. So, buckle in, and let's dive into it. Step 1 to killing this guy is getting lost in the smoldering lake for roughly 30 minutes. This is mandatory, as we are looking for a very specific spell, and the smoldering lake is essentially elaborately in hellscape. Don't worry though, look up a couple of walkthroughs, take some breaks, spend some time trying to research and find this spell, and eventually you'll come across it after dying to several things that could very well just be eldritch horrors. See, the spell that we're looking for is Toxic Mist. And you might be asking, oh, why not just use Pestilent Mist? It sounds like it's kind of the same spell. It's not. Toxic Mist deals poison damage, and Pestilent Mist cannot go through walls. This is important, and you'll understand why later in the game. So, just essentially run around and try to find it. Eventually you'll find it, it's down in this toxic area, and then you can leave and go kill Gale. Killing Gale in this game is actually pretty easy if you know the cheese, otherwise he is a very difficult boss. Do not take this as like, oh, the boss is easy. No, killing the boss head on, one of the most difficult bosses in the game. Killing the boss this way, very funny. Also with extra American cheese on top of your Gale-shaped nachos. But you're essentially going to try to get him stuck in an area where he doesn't understand that he's fighting you, and then spray him with Toxic Mist. It should take until the end of the spell's duration, or somewhere in the middle of it, for him to start taking damage. This works a lot like Pestilent Mist, especially since he's weak to poison damage. So, we're going to stand here and just essentially breathe morning breath on this man. And have some fun while we're at it. I should note that you're trying to get him stuck in the exact spot that you just rolled through, because if you don't, then this entire cheese goes to waste, and then you have to run around and do a little loop-de-loop. He's pretty easy to avoid in the first stage, though, so this is kind of a simple place to get him into. It's not necessarily the hardest, but it's not really that simple, as his AI kind of desires to avoid it. You might see that later in the time-lapse. Now, Gale actually does have a second phase, and, run. As this entire boss fight locks you into spawning back in the middle once he enters second phase, because of the fact that there's a cutscene. So we're gonna run as fast as we possibly can back to that exact location that we were poisoning him before. Grab your souls in the way if you've entered this arena before and died, because that's a likely occurrence. He does have a crossbow now. And he can do that. He can also fly at you, and shoot you, and throw spells at you, and lightning strike you, and yeah, not a good time. So we're trying to get him stuck again here. Hopefully we did just land it, and we can just poison him. As you can see, his AI isn't moving. So if you just get the positioning right, then spray. And you have to remember that Toxic Mist is one of those spells that makes you move forward just a little bit every time you cast it, and if you move too far forward, you're going to wind up inching yourself far enough that he acknowledges your existence on the battlefield. This is bad. You do not want him to do this. And there you have it. That is Slave Knight Gale and the easiest way to cheese him. That is also the last boss that we'll be covering, as I do not want to kill myself in trying to fight Midir. So, that means that the series is now over. I'm going to be doing some other stuff and rolling that out pretty soon, with hopefully some animation, but until then, safe travels, and happy hunting.